Hi everybody, I'm here with my daily video, and today I thought I would show you some examples of how I have set up some planner inserts that I've used in the past. I know that we're getting into the school year starting and we are coming out of summer and people are starting new routines and things, so I thought I would share with you some tips and tricks for what I have found to be helpful and useful for me to just kind of refresh and redesign my planner setup in the past in order for me to keep to planning as much as establish my own planner piece and do a little bit of outside of the box sort of creative problem solving so that using my planner, it's something that works for me versus me working for it. So if you are interested in seeing some planner pages and some planner page setup ideas, then I invite you to stick around for the video, and I am excited to share this with you, especially considering the fact that I haven't been able to do daily videos this whole week because of my whole iPhone thing. So let's go ahead and watch the video. So just as a little bit of a disclaimer, I'm going to show you planner inserts that I have designed and used myself, and even though I sell planner inserts and things, these are things that you could just as well do your own creative problem solving, and you could draft up these planner inserts in the same sort of style just on your own paper. You don't necessarily need to go and buy planner inserts all the time. If you want to try out a new layout, a great way to try it out is to simply cut paper to the size of whatever planner insert that you need, punch holes in it, and then just pop it in your planner as a way to kind of test drive it. That's something that I've done in the past, and it's really helped me to discover what works for me and what keeps me in planner peace. And it also is a way to do some DIY planning, which I'm convinced is going to almost always be the cheapest way to do planning. I think the DIY planning is really cool to do because it immediately gives you some feeling of investment in just the whole experience of planning. And I think that doing DIY planning has helped me to stay in planner peace and planning peace just because I am that much more invested in just the whole process. So I just wanted to give a little bit of that disclaimer just to kind of encourage you and inspire you and support you to try and discover your own setup if no setup out there seems to be working for you. So let's go ahead and take a look at some planner pages and setup. I'll try and talk you through some of the things that I have considered when I have set up the pages in the way that I'm going to show you. And I mean that by the arrangement of pages as much as what the pages actually look like. Because I did use some planner stickers, and I have some unique sort of planner insert ideas that I haven't really seen anywhere else in the planner community. The reason why they even exist, why I even have them, is because it came down to the fact that I just realized I needed to create my own individualized, different sorts of planner design pages. So let's go ahead and take a look at the pages. So what I have here is I have a Kipling medium binder, and this is about a very similar, comparable size to a Filofax Personal, or it is comparable to the Filofax Compact that I usually always share. This is my only Kipling binder. I got this on major markdown last year when they were kind of trying to clear these out, and I don't know that I'll buy another Kipling just because while I really like the ring size of the Kiplings, just how generous it is, it's maybe a little bit too big and heavy, especially once it's loaded up with planner inserts and things, for me to carry around comfortably when I'm trying to do planning on the go, as I much prefer to do in the Filofax Compact that I use. Go ahead and pop this open. Now I just use this for storage. I made a whole bunch of washi clips that I'm going to be selling in my Etsy shop, so I'm kind of using this binder for the purposes of storing those. And then I just have some old dividers in here that I made simply by taking Target folders that are just laminated folders, planner dividers, and then just punching holes in them and turning them into used folders from the Target dollar spot. So what I'm showing you here is I'm showing you a planner setup where the pages are stacked this way. As far as I've been able to tell on most of the video setups that I have seen, on YouTube at least, not a lot of people do the whole stacked pages where the pages flip in calendar style. I haven't even really seen it in the planner community on Instagram, and as far as I can tell, I'm one of the few people that does things this way. And the reason why is because, like I said, I just discovered that from doing planning by having pages that flip like a book, it just did not work for me. And so that's why I endeavored to do it this way. I was trying to design planner inserts that would work for people who are left-handed. And I know that sounds really weird, but when I was designing my own inserts, I was working as a classroom teacher, and I was trying to design inserts that my high school students could use as much as I could use them. And dealing with the rings, especially rings that are as generous as the Kiki K rings, I just found that even though with a binder planner you can pop the pages in and out, that got to be a little bit of just an extra step that I didn't want to have to deal with, which is why I developed pages that flip top to bottom like this. So this is a little bit of an example that I shared a good number of months ago of a planner insert that I used for a little while. It is a Euro week, Monday through Sunday, and then it has a grid back. And there's a kind of grid paper on the back there. I really liked this setup for a good while just because it allowed me to have a setup like this on the bottom and then one on the top. So then I could see 2 weeks at one time. I also liked having this sort of a setup because sometimes what I like to do is I like to put the page so that there is one sort of view at the top and then one view at the bottom. I know that for me, when I'm doing weekly planning, it can really be helpful for me to see what my month looks like in order to inform what I'm doing in my weekly planning. So one thing that has been helpful for me in the past, and my schedule just doesn't require this sort of setup, one thing that's been really helpful for me in the past is having a setup where I can see my weekly planning and then I can also see my monthly planning in the same time. Something else that's helpful for me is having weekly planning and then having that be right there in tandem with some more open sort of planning, almost like list making. This is an example of what I did just using planner stickers of all different kinds. These are DIY planner stickers that I made myself, and I just printed them on label paper and then I cut them out. These are alpha stickers from me and my big ideas. That's from me and my big ideas. This is actually just grid or graph paper. And then this is the same sort of 7-day week insert, but it has a Sunday start instead of a Saturday start. A couple of people have asked me if I would do planner inserts like that, and I actually do have them, but I just need to get them into my Etsy shop so that they can be available for both printable and printed and shipped inserts. This has been a setup that's worked for me in the past, simply because I like to have a big picture view that helps to inform a more structured weekly view. I find that sometimes if I can have a big picture view, whether it's a big picture view of the month or it's a big picture view of just list making, really can help me to plug in that information or just move it back and forth as I need to between the two different styles of planning. So while this does have some clipboards, for example, this would be for maybe meal planning if you are trying to make some lifestyle changes or you're just a really busy parent and it helps you to lay out your meals per day, or it just helps you for meal prep. It can be really, really nice to have something like a big picture view of your meals and your food selections, as that has to do with just maybe scheduling through the week. Here's another sort of a big picture view. This, of course, is not looking at meal planning or menu planning. This is looking more at maybe scheduling. So scheduling phone calls or places where you have to be, travel plans. Here's a meeting. This is just maybe a general open space for reminders. Now, if you were going to set this up in a book style like this, what you could always do is you could have one page that is your weekly planning, and then you could have one page that is your list planning, or just your brain dump, or just your notes of the day. So you could have a grid side, and then you could have a structured weekly side. For my purposes, I just much prefer when my planner pages flip calendar style. It has done a great deal for me to have planner piece, just because when I think of a calendar, I think of time tracking and timekeeping, and so designing planner inserts so that they flip like a calendar has been helpful for me to just bear in mind that this is all about time tracking and scheduling and things. Now, even though I have shown you that you can put your week on the bottom and then have your big picture view on the top, so again, think about this like a calendar. If you have a wall calendar, you might have a big, giant, scenic picture up there, and then you have your grid of your days through the month. This is just a little bit of an adjustment in thinking about this as a big picture view of planning. You could always put your weekly schedule at the top and then put things here at the bottom. So if you're the type of person who likes to do forward planning, meaning you like to fill in your pages before you actually get there, but then you find as you go through your week, you always have more stuff that needs to be added, or you like to do things in a little more of a reflective style. So you have something structured, you have things set in stone, but then you like to do a plan as you go sort of a thing, then you could always use a page, like down here, as a way to just fill in thoughts and bits of information that otherwise can't fit in here because maybe you already have things that are filling up that space of the week. You also don't necessarily have to put your days of the week up there. I do have the days of the week there. I just have them relabeled, and these are little stickers from Simple Stories. But you don't necessarily have to think of your weekly plan as maybe being, this is always going to be Monday, this is always going to be Tuesday, this is going to be Wednesday. If your work schedule starts on maybe a Friday versus a Monday or a Sunday, then you could always just relabel your week so that it starts on whatever day it is that maybe your work schedule starts on. Here is another view of a double sort of a view. Weekly planning here, but these are just long kind of team vertical boxes. And then this is your monthly plan. This is a Euro setup, meaning it starts on Monday instead of on Sunday. This doesn't have grid back on it, but this still serves the purpose of you having a big picture view of the month and then your weekly plan here for you to do more detailed and carefully articulated scheduling notes as it has to do with maybe the big picture view of the month. These are undated, and I actually really like undated inserts because it allows me to make adjustments by using different types of planner inserts and planner layouts as I need to, just because I've discovered that as I go through my year, depending upon how busy a certain time of year that I'm in, I might need to have something where I see this sort of view, or I have a week here and a week here, because things are just that busy for me. And so I like undated inserts, if only because, well, to me, usually it's a lot cheaper to kind of deal with them, to print them off. And cheaper, I even mean in terms of time, just because I don't have to spend the time filling in those dates on digital inserts then I print off. I can just write in the days as I need to. And then if I don't end up using them, I don't feel like it's wasted paper. So here is another sort of a big picture view, and this is a little bit crooked, so just don't even mind that. The whole point in showing you this is to show you how you can use stickers to relabel or color code or just block off a certain big picture view of a weekly plan and then an unstructured sort of plan that goes along with your weekly plan. Here's another example. And again, these are all just pretty standard sort of planner stickers that are just as much, I think, scrapbooking stickers. This is from me and my big ideas These are just regular sort of labels from the Michael's Recollections brand, and then these are just die-cut planner stickers that are pretty generic. These are scrapbook stickers from Me and My Big Ideas, I believe. And these are all from Me and My Big Ideas sticker books. Here's another sort of a layout, and this is pretty close to what I've already showed you. Great thing about some of these clear stickers from Me and My Big Ideas is that if you are not in love with your handwriting, then you can still have the idea of script writing in your planner and have it feel like there's something written in there, and even it's motivational. But like I said, if you kind of have a love-hate with your handwriting, then you can have some really pretty script sort of writings in your planner by just using the script stickers. Here's another sort of a big picture view, and again, this is all color-coded too, so you can do things that way. You can use different stickers that communicate different days of the week. Let's say, for example, this would be your work schedule, so then you could put your work hours there, and this is just grid and graph paper, so technically you don't even need a pre-set up sort of an insert. You could just sticker up a page, visually break up the space, and then just say this is Monday, this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday. You technically don't even need planner inserts that are predefined and labeled. Here is another sort of a layout that I've used in the past that I really like, where I have the Monday through Friday here, and then I have the Saturday and Sunday in a horizontal sort of a fashion instead of it being a vertical list. And this has really worked in the past for me just because I find that my Saturdays and Sundays are usually times when I can be more flexible and are a little bit less task oriented, so having that list for Saturday and Sunday is just not necessary. Saturday and Sunday is more for just kind of leisurely time, and I found that having a horizontal sort of a setup works for that sort of thing. And I think that that is it, other than, yeah, I have like an open blank, and then I have like a grid version. And see this up here, the grid at the top? That is just a sort of a, you know, space where if while I'm doing planning I have notes that I need to make because maybe I've had phone calls or I've had to go to meetings, then I can just reserve that space to write things. And like I said, you can do this in a book style sort of a layout where you would have your weekly planning over here and then you'd have grid over here. I just much prefer doing things in a stacked sort of a way because to me this feels like a calendar, and to me a planner is all about timekeeping, time tracking, and scheduling, so it helps for it to feel like a calendar that I can carry around with me. I really hope that what I shared with you today was helpful to you. Like I said during the video, even though I sell planner inserts and I have just a certain approach to planning that is much different than what I've seen in the planner community, and that setup and the planner inserts, they work for me. Your planner is for you, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm a planner enthusiast. I'm a fan of any type of planner. I have a whole lot of working knowledge about a lot of the different systems and approaches out there, a lot of the different styles of planner inserts, even paper quality, and I'm glad to answer any questions that you might have about those sorts of things. For me, I have found that through all of my adventures of doing paper planning and trying to find things that work for me so that I'm not working for my planner, and planning remains a joy and something that adds to my life versus subtracts from it, I have found that I had to come up with my own design for planner inserts, which is why I sell the inserts the way that I do, and why seemingly, I don't know, nobody else in the planner community does planning with the inserts the way that I do. So I do these videos as a way to try and share with you all some ideas, tips, and tricks that I've learned along the way, and I hope that with anything that I share, that it's helpful for you in some way. As I showed you in the video, even though I do something that has a little bit of a calendar flipping sort of a design, you don't have to do it that way. If flipping pages from left to right book style works for you better, then go for that. Do something that works for you. Do something that keeps you in planner peace, or at least helps you to keep moving into a direction so that you can achieve whatever goal it is that you're setting out to try and grab a hold of and allow you to go into the next kind of area or space of your life. Do what is going to do that for you. And even if nobody else is doing that, it's okay, because if your planner is working for you versus you working for it, you know what? You might just have the ever elusive planning piece or planner piece. That term is thrown around a lot in the planner community, and I have found that planner piece and planning piece does exist. Sometimes it's just about you tweaking things and making adjustments to approaches that you take, or just considering things maybe that you had never even thought of before. So that's it for this video, and I hope that it was helpful for you. If you have any questions whatsoever about anything that I shared in this video, I'm glad to answer them, or just plain have discussion about planning and planner inserts, and just, well, nerding out on like all the planner stuff. I'm glad to do that with you in the comments of any of my videos, this one of course included. I love having discussions in the comments. It's so much fun. Like I said in other videos, I have learned so much about planning and about different ways of doing planner stuff and just new tools to try in the comments of pretty much all of my videos. I like the discussion that happens there because I see it as just kind of an extension and a way to connect with people who enjoy the same things that I do. So thank you so much for spending so much time with me today, and thank you for allowing me to share something that I love with you. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next daily video that it'll probably be about planner stuff again. I can't help it. I really like planner stuff. But if you're watching this video, then maybe you like it too, so we have that in common. That's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching it. I'll see you in the next daily video. Bye.